Raiders, get ready. We have a ridiculously cool event coming to Raid Shadow Legends. We've got double chance of void shards for both epics and legendaries. These are some of the very, very, very best champions in the game. Maybe we'll do a video breaking down all the best voids. But we also have on Friday a 10 times chance of summoning Bayek, which means if you pull a legendary, that is a round a 10% chance of getting Bayek. But if you wait until Saturday, you got a 10% chance of Solanar the Gleaming. This is the Raid channel where we're going to give you the best early game guides. So many content creators in Raid Shadow Legends are endgame players who are doing their best to tell you what to do early game, but haven't been there in a long time. I am still in the early to mid game, so I'm going to give you my very, very, very best advice here. Um, do we have a full double? No, it's just epics, right? It looks like we have a double for everything. We just have the extra chance with the void shards. Cool, cool, cool. So we have the double for everything, but the voids are how it works. Chance of summoning epic legendary from voids are double. Chance of summoning epic legendary from ancient, sacred, and primal are the same as normal. Okay, so it's just void. Making sure I didn't misread that. But this is the channel that we're going to give you like the early game breakdown. We're going to tell you what you should do as your account is young and early. And we're going to actually start with Solanar, and then we're going to go to Bayek. I know Bayek comes first, but we're going to start with Solanar, go to Bayek. But first, I just want you to know, I decided that I am, in fact, doing the Fragment Summon for... Where are you, Fragment Summon? Not a Fusion, right? Shard Summon? No, Fusion. The Fragment Summon for our new friend. I apparently clicked her, which is going to push her all the way down to the bottom, somewhere else. Where did she go? Where did she go? I've got 25, wherever the heck she is. I've got 25 for our friend Noluda. Noldua? I've got 25 for Noldua, so I am doing this fusion. I am doing this summon right now. I'm at 28 with Mithrala. I'm starting to get like 5 a week, so that means in, I don't know, 10 weeks we'll have 50 more. About 20 weeks? 20-ish weeks, we'll have Mithrala, which is really great in account changing. Empress, Empress is a little bit slower for me. I know I'm ahead, but I'm getting it slower. Kraz is just, I wish I could exchange these because these are like literally a nothing burger to me. I don't know how to unlock them, but it's like these are. Oh, I can unlock them. Kraz the Wall Breaker seems like I actually have him, so like we're just gonna. Cool. Take a quick remnant chest pull, fragment chest pull. Cool. We get a bunch of mod fragments, which is really nice. 4-star chicken, I'm not sneezing at, and a couple of decent stuff. Look, I'm not remotely sad at those. We've got some Quintus fragments. We don't super duper care. Saoirse almost there at 80%. Don't judge me. Mod 6 now. Look, we got 6. And Archmage helmet, who we are going to summon when we get to the summon rush event, which is what we're looking for today. And like the answer here, I think is going to be relatively simple. The easiest answer here is going to be relatively simple. If you are going for mod, if you are in the process of going for mod, then all of a sudden our high elf friend Solanar is going to look better. What else is Solanar going to be good for? That's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at his kit for the millionth time, and we're going to say what else is he good for. First and foremost, how good is he in arena? Well, he's got an increased attack in all battles. That's useless, right? We almost never use that. That is a bad one. If Nolan is on the same team, he is going to always critical, and I think this is really really important. This is bad for live arena where he can just be banned, or null dua can be banned, and then you don't get the crit. However, he's always on all of his skills going to always crit if null dua is on the same team, and we can choose to do that in basically every bit of content in the game, except occasionally Grim Forest, occasionally whatchamacallit, who's call it, Curse City, and obviously Live Arena, right? So most of the time, early game accounts. Hi, that's me too. If we can build him without crit rate, that means we can pump crit damage through the roof. If he's always critting, and if it's a skill, nothing stops it, then we can just make his crit damage completely insane. So he's going to attack all enemies. This attack is always critical if Noldo the Gleaming is on the same team, and he's got an 80% chance when booked of fatigue. We're actually going to probably leave that at 60%, and I'll explain why. Because like his real upside for early game accounts is that I don't think you're going to need to book him. That's huge. I want that 20%. Don't get me wrong. 20% damage and 20% book is not nothing to sneeze at. But if I've got guaranteed crit, I can get his damage from crit damage, not this extra damage buff. And I can get and I'll just deal without the fatigue all the time. What's really cool though here, he has an 80% chance to counterattack when this skill whenever an enemy gets an extra turn or instant turn, which means he's amazing at killing mythic champions. Mythic champions, when they morph, that is an extra turn. There's plenty of other ways. But there's also a 15% chance to counterattack with this skill whenever an enemy has their turn meter increased. That happens all the time. I don't know if you pay attention, but that happens all the freaking time. It is fairly consistent that enemies get their turn meter increased, which means he's going to be attacking with this a lot. He's just going to attack a lot right now, which means he's really, really good. So he's going to be a giant damage dealer, attacking all enemies, hopefully fatiguing a fair number with this ability. From there, we're going to go with Blazing Force level 1. I'm planning on almost never using this. Straight up. I'm planning on almost never using this again unless it's against bosses. Against bosses, hell yeah. Against other champs, probably not. Because he's got attack one enemy, the same crit thing. He's near 10% of target's defense for each buff. So if we play him with, and the champion I'm going to use him with is my Glicade. Glicade's immediately going to put 4 buffs on him. That's a negative 40% defense for that one big hit. That seems really big, especially if I can combine that with, say, Savage or Lethal Gear. I do have plenty of Savage Gear. Savage Gear is probably the most important early game farmable gear from a dungeon for you. It's really, really huge. It's also going. The reason I'm not going to use this in wave content, though, right? I'm going to ignore this for waves. I'm going to ignore this for arena. This champion is immune to all debuffs while the skill is not on cooldown. Whenever an enemy attempts to place a debuff on this champion with the skill is not on cooldown, champion gains a random buff instead. This part's not going to work on bosses, right? So none of this is working on bosses, fine, so be it. But just having the ability to against waves, just be like, nope, not gonna deal with it. If this works on the Grim Forest champions, right? Like the Grim Forest champions that are like the like mini boss not the bosses in Grim Forest, right? I know it's not gonna work on any of the like name champions, but like your regular champions that get bigger and more powerful in Grim Forest, you're like Mithril will be a leader of a team and be giant and be the thing you have to kill. If that doesn't count as a boss, this is going to be broken. Getting this to a 3-turn cooldown seems really cool because we do care about the cooldown, but I'm not planning on using this a whole ton. So I'm not sure if I care, unless it hits like an absolute truck, and then we'll revisit. But I think I'm okay not booking because like extra damage and debuff chance is nice here. The what we really want, the money here is the cooldown. The damage is fine again. This doesn't have a cooldown. It's a 40% more damage, but it doesn't have a cooldown reduce. So I don't know if we care. So attacks one enemy before attacking, steals all buffs and 100% turn meter of the target if not under Stone Skin, and it doesn't care about Stone Skin if Noldo is on the same team. That's a little bit, just a little bit nasty, right? Just attacks an enemy, takes all their buffs and all their turn meter. That's almost like an extra turn for him. This champion receives 75% less damage on enemy extra turns or instant turns while this skill is not on cooldown. Hello, go second arena team. I do plan to use this ability. Stealing turn meter is good enough. That's going to be fundamentally an extra turn anyway. 75% less damage on an extra turn is a bonus, not a like must have for this one. While the skill is on cooldown, its cooldown goes down whenever an enemy receives an extra turn or has an instant turn activated on them or has their turn meter increased once per turn. Wild, wild stuff, right? This is awesome. Okay. So whenever an enemy receives healing, has a 100% chance to reduce the amount of healing received to 0. And this is the money skill. This is where we are. If Noldo is on the same team, enemies will receive damage equal to the amount of healing instead. That's stupid crazy good. And we're going to take a look at where in the game this is good right now. This effect doesn't work against bosses. Okay, so like fine, the bosses will still be able to heal, but all the random stuff in arena that heals, everything that has like anyone who's playing with any of the like revival sets, just no, we're not going to deal with that, right? I'm curious if the whole thing doesn't work against bosses or just like the no or just the second part, right? If the whole thing doesn't, this is worse. Fine, right? That kills the use a little bit. But if the first part works against bosses, that's utterly insane. I'm gonna assume nothing works for the time being. I don't have access to a test server. I'm still new at raid content. Sorry, but fine. Oh hey, how about once per round if this champion is dead, revive this champion with 100% P and 100% turn rate, their last living ally is killed. So let's say he dies, right? Opponents are going to have to get rid of him. You kill all his allies, then he dies. He's gonna pop out. with 100% HP and turn, so he's going to be able to go right away. He's also going to have a magma shield for 2 turns. The value is equal to 300% of his max HP. So his max HP 300, and that's a shield that reflects damage. And you can't get rid of that if Nolda is on the same team, even if she did. Oh boy. All right. So, so, so. This is crazy good, right? Like, this is an incredible champion. Um, where are we using him in our early account? So the obvious place we're going to use him, and we'll come back and talk about Bayek for in a minute. The obvious places we're going to use him are arena. He's in a ridiculous arena, live arena champion. If you're not, I should probably use those. If you're not going to use him in live arena, I bet you if you're early game, one of your um one of your 3 teams could really use him. Cool. I think that that's a really good shot for him. That's a really good shot for him. Um, okay, what else? Where else can we use him? Um, Faction Wars seems like an incredible spot, right? The High Elf Crypt is perfectly happy to just have a bunch of someone who's can't be debuffed, someone who's going to revive themselves and win battles. Just seems like a really strong. Where the heck is the High Elf Crypt? Hey, look, we're hiding our Argonauts. Here, our high elf grip right here, which is going to open in 2 more days. Whatever, nothing we can do about that now to show it to you. But fine, that's going to be a great place. Dungeons. Do we care about him in dungeons? If his heal doesn't work, I don't know if I care about him in dungeons. Straight up, if his block debuff worked against Iron Twins, he'd be the best thing against them, right? If his no heal worked, he'd be amazing against like Ice Golem. He'd be amazing against Minotaur. Um, I still think he's going to be really good in the event dungeon because he's got the attack all enemies and the protect deep, and he's going to still be debuffed, I guess. Really good in Fire Knight who tries to heal himself. Um, Overall, just like seems like he's going to be really good into those dungeons. Cool. And from there, we're going to say where else would he be useful? Curse City. Curse City all the time, right? All day, every day, being able to attack lots of bosses, being able to do lots of powerful things into Curse City seems really nice. I need to beat this thing in Curse City. I need to book these up because that's my last one before I can actually fight the boss. We'll get back to Curse City later. Grim Forest is amazing. Everything in Grim Forest heals. Saying no, the frick you don't. Just being able to be like, oh, you don't get to heal. I don't know if this counts as a boss. Oh, it's a boss. Poopies. All right, fine. Uh, this is not a boss, right? That's just a regular old bad guy because it's not listed as a boss. No one here gets to heal. Thanks. Have a great day. Take damage for that is going to get you through all of these so quickly. And if you can beat all of them so quickly, you're going to level up and be able to kill the actual bosses. That seems good. How about your siege teams? You think your siege teams might like a Solanar and Noldua? Yeah, I think so too. So like we have the key spots to use this champion. Are those spots you're looking for help? Are you currently, excuse me, are you currently clearing doing really well in Curse City and Grim Forest? If not, this is going to be great for you. Do you need arena help? If not, this is going to be great. If so, this is going to be great for you. However, there's a caveat, right? Oh, sorry. One more spot. He's really good because he's got so much degrees defense. He's going to be at least interesting and solid into Demon Lord and Hydra. He's going to take debuffs from Hydra. Hydra's a boss, sadly, right? I got to do my Hydra stuff soon. So Hydra's a boss, sadly, but fine, so be it. If he's going to do really solid work into Demon Lord, just because from everything I've heard, from everything I've read, again, not test server, he hits like a truck. Chimera, no, not good for Chimera, but more than good enough for Demon Lord, right? So if that's what you need, this is going to be the champion for you. If you're getting Noldua, I think it like this is fairly likely to be our only chance to get him. He seems absolutely worth it. And now we're going to go over to clan. No, clan, silly. We're going to go over to index. I wish it was in my clan. Go over to index, and we're going to take a look at our other option, who is a barbarian. Bayek the barbarian. If I can find barbarians, here barbarians. Barbarians. Our friend Bayek is a barbarian. Bayek is my most wanted as a void legendary. Is easily my most wanted of the assassins, and he is time gated, and there's no reason not to go after Bayek for these ways. I'm looking something up very quickly. I'm gonna actually pull them up on Hell Hades and check up their area guides. So Bayek and Bayek and Solanar. All right. So before we actually talk about Bayek, I just want to note that Solanar is supposed to be great at Dark Fae for Doom Tower and Celestial Griffin for Doom Tower. So if those are areas you have trouble with, he's going to be good for Hard Dragon, which is nice to have access to, but not the end of the world. Um, really, really good for Demon Lord, Chimera, Amius, Waves, really good, amazing for regular Fire Knight and for Shogun Grove. So like lots of great areas for this champion according to Hell Hades, and 5-star in Arena, 5-star in Arena, 5-star in Dark Haven, 5-star in Fire Knight. So if those are areas you need help, again, keep your eye on Solinar. That seems really good. Bayek we'll talk about once we talk about where he's good. Once we talk about his kit and what he does, Bayek seems like he's straight up better. However, my big caveat is Bayek is part of a limited time event, and every time they've done a limited time event in the past, they've had a guaranteed champion event. So, are you willing to, when you get that guaranteed champion, do what you need to for Bayek? That seems likely to be a Soulstone event, but it could be anything, right? It could just be shards later with a guarantee. Could be prism shards. Eventually, there will be a way to get Bayek, and you'll be able to get Bayek. Oh, is this going to be your best chance? No, probably not. So if you're willing to potentially spend or potentially save a bunch and get Bayek later, then Solinar is easy. If Solinar with Noldwa you think is a really, really powerful combo, then Solinar is easy. However, if it just comes to quality of champion, well, let's talk about Bayek and see. So Bayek places a leech at 100%. 100% leech and fills his turn meter by 20%. So he's going to go off, and damage based on defense is my favorite. It's always the best in the game to me. Damage based on defense, 100%. Just a single attack. Nothing amazing, but still pretty good. That leech means he's got some survivability for your team. Then he's got his 2 attack all enemies, place a decrease accuracy buff and a 50% decrease resistance debuff for 2 turns. Also places provoke on all enemies for 1 turn. If a target is under 3 or more debuffs, places provoke for 2 turns. So just straight up, this is broken into Hydra. This makes him one of the best Hydra heroes in the game that you can get as an early game player. Period, bar none. Provokers are my big like hold up for Hydra. I'm spending forever trying to build provokers, and this just solves that problem. That's part of why I want him so badly. He is unreal for provoke. I don't know why I pressed that. Excuse me. But more that decrease accuracy. That decrease accuracy synergizes with his passive. That's the assassin passive. That's the extra damage one. This passive. This champion and their allies cannot receive critical hits from enemies whose accuracy is equal to or lower than their own accuracy. And he is lowering all enemies' accuracy right here, right? He's also increasing all team accuracy for 2 turns. So you're fairly likely to just turn off crits. Crits are an extra, like, at least 200% damage or so for opponents. It's also going to give a perfect veil, which is going to make him untargetable. Um, but also, it's going to make everyone else untargetable. He's still targetable. But also that it's also going to give the increased defense buff. So if we have enough other defense champions, for example, if we got Leonardo, if you have a Newt or anything along those lines, he's going to be incredible. And then he gets a 6% decreased defense on himself for 3 turns, which is going to increase his damage. This one can get down to a 4 turn, which is wild. Oh, he also gets an extra turn to cycle through turns quicker. This ability, the Perfect Veil, the no crits, that is unbelievable. Sorry, the no crits, that is unbelievably good into Chimera. So if your main areas of concern are Hydra and Chimera, Bayek is incredible. He's also got the natural increase accuracy in all petals by freaking 70. All petals by 70. So if you're really struggling with accuracy, he has negative 50 plus 50, his own 70 increase. Um, yeah, he's just going to turn off crits, right? He's going to turn off crits. He's going to perfect veil. He's going to add leech and survivability. He's not the best damage dealer, but he's an utterly amazing support champion, and I want him very badly. In terms of pure use for your accounts, he is almost certain to be, for me, likely better than Solinar. His areas of use too are absolutely crazy for me. He's insane into Hydra, like phenomenal into Hydra. 5 stars, 5 stars into waves, 4.5 into Chimera. Great, just 4 stars casual. Every bit as good into Demon Lord and Amius as our previous friend. Um, Wild into Chimera Trials, 6 different Chimera Trials. 38 of the Sinatra's hard levels. 5-star into Frostbite, 5-star into Eternal Dragon. He's mostly okay. So if Doom Tower is what you need help in, you're not going for him. Our friend Solanar is better in Doom Tower. He's 3 and 4 stars, but like Frostbite and Eternal Dragon aren't hard, so it's not like you need him for those. Um, Crazy good into dungeons. 4.5 stars into Spider, Fire Knight, Dragon. 5 into Ice Golem. 4.5 into Iron Twins, which is humongous. That accuracy thing is really good. They're turning off those crits. 4.5 into Shogun's Grove. 4.5 into Fire Knight hard, into Dragon hard, 4 into Ice Golem hard, 4 into Spider hard. This is one of the better PvE champions in the game. If you want PvP, you're gonna need Solanar, but if you want PvP, like it's not like he doesn't have PvP usage, right? Turning off crit damage for your the enemy team is insanely good. It's insanely strong. It means that their damage for a lot of the like high damage dealing mythics in the game is just totally nuked. Um, Straight up, straight up, straight up. I greatly, greatly, greatly prefer Bayek. I think Bayek is significantly better than Solinar as an overall champion. However, if you are going to get Noldwa, if you're already getting Noldwa, and you would have had to have made that decision, if you're already getting Noldwa and or you're willing to wait for the Bayek guaranteed event, then I think you should get Solinar. However, if you're just desperate for Hydra help, if you're like, oh my god, if I get Hydra, my fragment summons, I'm all of a sudden like just gonna be able to suddenly like grab my Mithrala, and I'm gonna be able to grab my Mithrala is the Hydra one, right? I'm gonna be able to up my Chimera, and now I'm getting Ibris too. That's a lot of value, right? That's just a lot of value. Cursed summons, yeah. So if you can pull that off, and all of a sudden your math might change, right? But I do think that if you're doing the summon, it should be Solinar. However, if you're doing the summon, you can easily pull for either without a wrong choice. My big caveat to that, the big question for that is, ready? If you are not pulling for Noldua, you should still save. I know it hurts. I know a 10% chance of a void legendary seems amazing. Sorry, a 1% chance, but a 10% chance of a great extra void legendary. And almost every void legendary is great. I know that that's hard not to do. I get it. I truly, truly get it. But wait. Next month is the anniversary. The anniversary will have meta things. Save your money, save your time if you're not playing for Noldwa. Just hold on. However, if you are, no wrong answers. Want it to be Bayek. My heart says Bayek. But I'm gonna do Solinar. I think Solinar is insane. I think Solinar is going to be a account changing champion for whatchamacallit, for Grim Forest, which I can clear on normal but need help for on hard. And the real beauty of getting more here is, of course, Grim Forest is the only way to get our new gear. It's the only way to get Mercurial gear, and Mercurial gear. Oh, I got to do all my stuff tonight. And Mercurial gear is straight up is going to be the new meta. And for that reason, I think that's my final reason I'm going for Solinar. Let me know what you're going to do in the comments. Make sure you hit a sub, leave a like, and leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video and our new raid content. I'll see you tomorrow for a Hearthstone video and probably some more raid. Let's be totally honest. I really love this game. Peace, friends.